Take away Russia's energy, and Vladimir Putin's war machine begins to suffocate. That idea is no longer theory. It is no longer speculation. It has become Ukraine's guiding doctrine, refined, perfected, and unleashed with terrifying efficiency throughout 2025. What began as isolated drone raids has evolved into a relentless, methodical campaign designed to starve Russia's war effort of fuel, money, and momentum. Night after night, Ukrainian drones have crossed borders, ignored distance, and rewritten what Moscow once believed was untouchable. Oil refineries, fuel depots, storage facilities. One by one, they have gone dark. Some burned, some exploded. Others simply stopped working, quietly, permanently, expensively. But nothing compares to what happened on December 11th. That night marked a turning point. According to reports, Ukraine launched the largest and most geographically expansive aerial strike of the entire war. Nearly 300 long-range kamikaze drones, some paired with cruise missiles, fanned out across Russia like a steel storm. From western regions to the depths of the Caspian Sea, targets ignited across a stretch of more than 2,000 kilometers. This was not a raid. This was a campaign compressed into a single night. The operation began with deception. Dozens of drones surged toward Moscow. They had no assigned targets, no coordinates to strike. Their mission was psychological, and it worked perfectly. As the drones arrived, they began circling the capital. Air defenses panicked. Radar screens lit up. Sirens wailed across the city. Residents were ordered into shelters. Authorities shut down 4 major airports for up to 10 hours. Flights were canceled. Passengers slept on terminal floors. Moscow froze. And that was the point. While Russia poured its defenses into protecting the Kremlin from drones that were never meant to hit anything, the real strike force slipped through, almost untouched. Nearly 240 Ukrainian drones raced toward their true objectives, far from the capital, far from the cameras, and far from safety. Oil refineries ignited across Russia. Facilities in Samara, Afipsky, and Saratov were hit within hours. A major fuel storage depot in Volgograd followed. These were not random targets. These were repeat victims. Ukraine struck the same refineries again and again, deliberately overwhelming repair crews and turning recovery into an endless losing battle. Samara burned for the 3rd time since August. Afipsky absorbed its 6th strike since July. Each hit layered damage upon damage, keeping production offline longer, draining reserves faster, and shrinking Russia's ability to export fuel. This is Ukraine's new strategy: exhaustion. In earlier phases of the war, a refinery might be struck once, then left alone. Russia would repair it, restart it, recover. Now, Ukraine doesn't allow that breathing room. The goal is cumulative destruction, incremental collapse, death by 1,000 fires. And then came the strike no one expected. Some Ukrainian drones flew farther than ever before, nearly 1,500 kilometers, to the Caspian Sea. There, they struck a Lukoil offshore oil rig, one of Russia's most valuable energy assets. Multiple drones hit their mark. Flames erupted across the platform. Production from dozens of seabed wells stopped instantly. The financial damage is staggering. That single rig produces roughly 120,000 barrels of oil per day. Even one day offline costs Russia more than $6 million, inflicted by drones that cost a fraction of that amount. And the fire didn't stop in a day. Russian firefighters battled the blaze for hours, then days, while production remained frozen. But December 11th still wasn't finished. For the first time, Ukraine shattered its own operational pattern by striking energy infrastructure and military targets on the same night. Airfields across Russia were hit in rapid succession. Ryazan, Voronezh, Ivano, even Murmansk in the Arctic. Runways were cratered, fuel depots exploded, hangars were struck. In Murmansk, a drone ripped open the runway, grounding aircraft entirely. In Ivano, hangars housing fighter jets were hit. In Ryazan, fuel supplies detonated in secondary explosions. Each strike reduced Russia's ability to launch missiles and glide bombs into Ukrainian cities. This matters. Russia's air campaign relies heavily on launching weapons from deep within its own airspace, beyond the reach of Ukrainian air defenses. Damage the runway, and the jet can't fly. Destroy the fuel, and the bombs stay on the ground. Once again, Moscow denied everything. Officials claimed nearly all drones were intercepted. Damage was described as minimal, but airports were closed. Oil rigs burned. Refineries went dark. Reality contradicted every word. December 11th delivered a message, not only to Putin, but to the world. At a moment when foreign voices claim Ukraine is losing or out of options, Kyiv responded with fire, range, and precision. With gloves fully off, Ukraine demonstrated that every oil facility, every refinery, every military base within reach is now a legitimate target. What makes this operation even more unsettling for Moscow is what it reveals about Ukraine's evolving capabilities. These were not reckless swarms launched in desperation. They were coordinated, layered, and intelligently sequenced. Decoys went first. Strike packages followed. Targets were prioritized not for symbolism, but for long-term strategic pain. Ukraine demonstrated that it can now manage airspace saturation, deception, long-range navigation, and simultaneous multi-domain targeting all in one night. Equally alarming for the Kremlin is what didn't happen. Russian air defenses failed to respond in a unified, effective manner outside Moscow. In several regions, locals reported drones passing overhead unchallenged, flying low, skimming treetops, and slipping beneath radar coverage. That silence speaks volumes. It suggests gaps, fatigue, systems stretched thin after months of constant alert. A defense network built to impress on paper, now struggling under real pressure. And perhaps most dangerous of all is the precedent this strike sets. Distance is no longer protection. Geography no longer guarantees safety. From the Arctic to the Caspian, Ukraine has shown that it can reach assets Russia once considered invulnerable. Every refinery restarted can be hit again. Every runway repaired can be cratered again. Every oil facility brought back online becomes a countdown clock. December 11th was not an endpoint. It was a warning shot. Russia is not untouchable, and Ukraine is far from finished. If you want to stay ahead of the next major escalation, if you want to understand what happens next before the headlines catch up, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned, because the most dangerous phase of this war may be just beginning.